Welcome to the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast. Today's episode is about real estate investing thankfulness.
Welcome to the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast with Scott Whitwam, your blueprint to financial abundance. Settle in as we explore the mindset and methods for wealth building through real estate.
Welcome back. I'm Scott Whitwam. I'm glad you joined me today for this episode, REI Thankfulness. With all of the challenges we face as real estate investors, it could be easy to lose sight of all the blessings around us. What are you thankful for? Today, on this Thanksgiving Day special, I want to identify some of the many blessings that I'm thankful for as a real estate investor. Number one, I have to say, is my relationship with God. No matter what I face in real estate investing in this business, I have peace. Yeah, I still face challenges like you. I have a different perspective because I know that God is looking out for me. And that actually is very comforting for me. Whatever your relationship is with God, when I lay my head down at night, I go to sleep. I have peace knowing that I did everything I could. I took all the right actions that I could, and that the rest of it is out of my hands, and that He's looking out for me. He's taking care of me. So number one is my relationship with God. This has led me into wanting to help people also better themselves. And obviously, I spend a lot of time, not only as a real estate coach, but as a pastor, trying to help people better themselves, how to live a more peaceful life, how to live a life that treats others as they would want to be treated. And I think that really has set this industry apart for me that I'm in and as a real estate investor, is that I'm not just fighting a battle, a business battle. I'm not just trying to gain, but I'm really trying to help people, trying to make the world better. And it is my relationship with God that has really made that difference for me. Number two, I would have to say, is family. I have three incredible grandchildren. I want to start from the bottom up here. I have three incredible grandchildren. There's nothing like having grandchildren around. When you're raising kids, when you're raising your own children, there's a lot of responsibility and stuff with everything. I mean, you've got a whole regimented, set of life things that you're trying to instill in your children. But grandchildren are kind of like they're like the candy out of the bubble gum machine. You put in a dime thinking you're going to get one gumball and you get two or three. It's like this incredible blessing. I was just, we had one of the grandchildren over here a couple days ago, and the entire time he's here, he has got a smile on his face. Now, I know from raising children, they're not always having a smile on their face, but I can tell you that grandma had something for him to do all the time. I mean, they're out doing, water balloon fights, and they were out, playing in the backyard. He was playing games. He was just excited. They went to the store, all those kind of things. I'm so incredibly thankful for my grandchildren. I got two beautiful grandchildren who are turning into young ladies. One of them, she's incredibly smart. She's at that age now where she's being challenged in school, and obviously her dad is helping, I think, to push her some in this, but incredibly smart, just really growing to be, a great example of what I would want my grandchildren to be. Now, obviously, when she's over here, what a blessing. We get to do things and, go to the video arcades and do all the things. That's the neat thing about being a grandparent. You get to do all of the fun things. And then when all the fun things are done, you get to send them home, and then the parents have to take care of the kids being overramped and those kind of things. And then my middle granddaughter, she's an incredible dancer. She's in dance class. She's very brilliant, but she's got energy just coming out everywhere. So when she's around, everything is always high speed, high activity. And I love it because she thinks that I'm her age, I think. because she'll come in the room and say, "Grandpa, come on, get down here on the floor with me, play with me, do this game with me. Oh, come on, Grandpa, let's go outside and do this. Let's go do these things." And so it's so awesome. And I have to say that easily on my chart number 2 is my family, but particularly I want to start with my grandchildren. What a blessing grandchildren are. I do have 3 incredible young men as sons. We were blessed with 3 sons, and the neat thing about I guess the experience my wife and I have had is we didn't go through terrible twos. We didn't have any troubled teens. We've had 3 young men that have grown into being responsible adults that are doing very well in life, and again and have provided us grandchildren. What a blessing for us. I'm very proud. We got 2 wonderful daughters-in-law at this point. Couldn't have asked for better wives for our children. Great mothers, and they're just it's a real blessing to be around them. They're accomplished in their own ways, highly motivated. It's just awesome to see. Also, when it comes to family, I have to say for my siblings, steps, halves, adopteds, and wholes. My wife always says that because we do. We have a really blended family of nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters, cousins, and so forth. I still have 2 living siblings, and I thank God for them on a regular basis that are my blood. But then on my wife's side, we have several siblings on her side of the family, and it's a blessing, when through the conversations and stuff that we get to have with them. What a blessing to have family in my life. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my one and only wife, who I get to do life with. And it's been an incredible experience. This coming April, it'll be 40 years. There's nothing that I could do without her. She really is my balance. She really adds value to everything I'm involved in, and I'd like to think that I add value in everything that she's involved in. And it's great doing life with her. We get to be in ministry together. We're co-owners of the real estate businesses that we're in. I mean, we are doing life together, and she's an incredible mother, an incredible grandmother, and what a blessing, and I'm the beneficiary of that. So family would definitely be number 2. Number 3 would be my friends and acquaintances. As a real estate investor, these build, edify, help to strengthen my ability to be able to do what I do, whether it's from my church family, who I get to hang out with on a regular basis, and we have common values, common goals, and common friendships. I mean, we've built over the years. I love hanging out with my church family. And then there's my business relationships. It's kind of the business family. And I look at them that way, the people that I either refer with, or they refer to me, or we're in business together with, those business relationships. And as a real estate investor, those are important. I try to strengthen the ones that I can. And like any relationship we're in, we have to eliminate the toxic ones, and we have to build on the beneficial ones, those that help strengthen us, but not only help strengthen us, ones that we can help strengthen. I really believe that by strengthening others, by helping others, we literally are helping ourselves. It's kind of it's a selfish blessing. We're blessing others, but in return, we get a blessing from it. So I would say the business relationships, and then those friends, coaches, and mentors who I get to be around, I get to hang around, I get to travel with, I get to do projects with. I am very thankful for these friendships, these relationships. They all make me a better person. They keep me motivated to fulfill my life's destiny. And it's quite interesting that my top things as a real estate investor all have to do with relationships. And I would say that I am very grateful for those. And anybody who looks on their relationships, builds those relationships, and invests in those relationships will be better for it. And certainly, at the end of the day, they have a lasting impact and are meaningful to one's life, not only our personal life, but also our business life. They make a difference for us as real estate investors. And so I'm grateful for each and every one. The fourth thing would be a country that affords me the opportunity to be a real estate investor. For all the problems and disagreements we may have as a nation, and I've traveled all around the world, and I've seen how many other countries operate. So with even all the problems that we have as a nation, there's no other country that has the opportunities or gives these opportunities and freedoms to their people. They just don't have them. And so at the end of the day, I am very grateful to be in the greatest nation in the world. And, you know, even when we face challenging times, and I'd have to say these last 3 years as real estate investing have been very challenging times. I mean, for my coaching students, the real estate agents that work in my brokerage, other businesses that are operating, this has been a very challenging 3 years in the economy. Really, it kind of started in 2022. But I am still, as challenging as it has been, I'm still grateful for the fact that we have the ability to continue to do what we do, even in challenging markets. And we can rely and lean in on those relationships, in on those coaches and those mentors to talk about it. This isn't the first downturn I've been involved in or seen. My first one that I saw was the one that my parents went through in the late 1970s. But I've been through some as a real estate investor, over the decades that have given me a real insight and perspective. And yet I still think this is the greatest nation, because there's no place else you could go and still be afforded the opportunities to make something in challenging times. There's always something that we can find to do, and that I am very grateful for that. Number 5, I'm grateful that as a real estate investor, I get to help other people. I get to help people with no-win situations, people with unsellable properties, people with legal problems, people with health issues. I get to help people who are in some way facing a challenge in life that they don't know how to get out of, that there may be no other way to get out of. They may be stuck. They may have tried bankruptcy. They may have found that it wasn't a solution. They may be in some type of litigation, some kind of legal problems. They may be in some kind of tax problems. But I've been able to help people like this over and over again. And, it's really interesting because, when I started this in 1989, I didn't have any idea of what it would be like today. I mean, there's times when we get real estate opportunities and we can get them done in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We just knock them out really fast. But there's other challenges. There's other things that come along that just have too many complications. They've got IRS liens. They may have, city liens. They may have legal problems as far as lawsuits tied up in litigation and have less penances. There may be some unpaid debt obligations, deeds, mortgages, and you can't find, or the lender has disappeared, has passed away, and finding their heirs. And some of these take not just weeks, but some of them take months and even years. So they can be challenging. But when you get to the end of that road with somebody who is in one of these messes, one of these tangled webs, and you're able to bring it to a conclusion and acquire the property from them, provide them the financial resources they need in order to move on with their next phase of life, it really is satisfying. And I'm very grateful to be able to be involved in that, while benefiting financially. I mean, there's how many times, I would have to literally look back to find out how many times I've had the phone call that either my mom or my dad or my aunt or uncle or some family member, a sibling, has to go into long-term care, and they have a house and they haven't done any maintenance on it in the last 10 or 15 years, and that they were a hoarder, and you can't even hardly get into the house. There's little trails through everything. And this is their last shot. This is the last thing that they will financially benefit from for the rest of their life. And they need this money for their long-term care. And I know investors who would say, oh, this is a great opportunity to get the property at absolutely lowest price we can and really take advantage of the situation. But for me, the thing that makes me grateful is that I can come in and I can make a fair financial offer to somebody to create a win-win. Sometimes we pay more than what other investors would for a property in doing this. But what I know is that they will have the resources that they were entitled to from the asset that they had. Not because I couldn't have gotten it for less money, but that we're going to still make a fair profit, and yet they're going to benefit from it, have the money that they need to go into long-term care. There's so much to be thankful for on this Thanksgiving Day. It's overwhelming, and I'm hoping that you are looking back and thinking of all the things that you're grateful for. And that's the end of our time for today on the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast. And I want to thank you for taking time to join me today. I invite you to subscribe today and be part of our growing community. If you found this episode of REI Thankfulness beneficial, leave us a review. And if you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. You can always find the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart Podcast, YouTube, or wherever you enjoy listening to podcasts. This is Scott Whitwam. Be sure to join me on our next episode of the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast, where we're building wealth through real estate.